Hi, this is Brandon Martin. I'm the Communications Director for the Bakersfield Rock and Country Music and Art Festival. In the background, you may be hearing Clay Walker play on our Big Cuz country stage. This has been a really phenomenal event. We have between 5,000 and 6,000 people, and we're still selling tickets for people to come in and see the show close with Leanne Rimes tonight, as well as Eddie Money. It's going to be in Herman's Hermit. It's going to be a terrific experience for a lot of people. Just in case you haven't heard of the Bakersfield Rock and Country Music Festival, because this was our first year, it's a 7-stage music festival on 16 acres at the beautiful Kern County Museum Pioneer Village exhibit. We have a classic car show. If you think the mechanics of cars are beautiful, you should come check out our classic car show or some of the pictures that Gunnar may have taken, because there's some really beautiful cars. We had a sports tent turned into a sports village. Let me give you a little background on that. For years, the producers of this music festival put on an event called the Bakersfield Business Conference. And at that event, didn't matter who we had on the stage, if it was former President Ronald Reagan or Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher or Evander Holyfield, the boxing sports legend, George Herbert Walker Bush. These were all speakers on our main stage. No matter who it was, there were always a group of like 100 to 200 people who spent their time in the sports tent checking the scores on the games and drinking beer with their buddies. We've observed that phenomenon, and we've taken the sports tent, kept it, and blown it up so that there's all sorts of amazing games and activities for people to play. All day people have been shooting baskets. They've been throwing pitches. In another area, we have a honky-tonk with a mechanical bull ride. There's a Ferris wheel. There's a carousel. Lots of delicious food. Special thanks to Cafe Med that brought me over some food. And Smokey's Barbecue. And I've heard so many great things about Victor's Mexican food as well. But I feel as if it's a disservice to mention only 3 of the food vendors, because people were licking their lips and saying that the food was delicious all day long.
Brennan, one question. What were some of the highlights of music performers today? I heard one of John Kay from Steppenwolf. Who else was one of the national highlights, or even international highlights?
I think a national and international highlight would have to be Chubby Checker. Chubby Checker kind of sort of invented the modern rock and roll movement. His hit in the early 1960s, The Twist, I believe it was either the early 1960s or early 1950s, was a #1 hit in back-to-back years, something that really hasn't happened on our Billboard charts again. It's one of the biggest hits of all time. This is, decades and decades later, and Chubby was spry and dancing up on the stage. His voice was great. If that isn't an inspiration to you, I don't know. You're awfully tough to inspire.
And so will you do this event again next year, or in fall, or what's your planning about?
What we're going to do is we're going to take at least 3 weeks to digest all the comments we've received, talk to people in the community. If the community wants us to continue to do this event, we will. It's important for a city with the musical heritage of Bakersfield to have a music festival that's its own, that highlights the talent we have here. New talent like Whitney Wattenberger or Truxton Mile, or living legends from the Bakersfield Sound era like Red Simpson and Gene Thom. These people deserve and demand attention and respect, and we'd like to invite the entire world to come. We had 4 people from the United Kingdom and several people from different states who came to travel this event. In the years to come, if we continue to have it, well, more people to come here and recognize the musical heritage of this Central Valley.
Anything else?
My favorite photograph, and I think probably Gunnar will beat this with one of his photographs, but to date, my favorite photograph was a friend of mine from high school. Her daughter competed in the karaoke contest, won $100, a $100 bill, and has been going around to everybody at the festival showing her victory prize for winning the karaoke contest. And if you could see the look on her face, and I know it's hard to describe this with words when I don't have the photograph, but it is pure happiness. That makes this festival worth the time and effort we put in. Lots of happiness from a lot of people.